I wanted to see what would happen if we were in a bear market, which we are. We went on a bear market December 24th, Christmas Eve, which I think is appropriate. I'm not too fond of Christmas. So the strategy is to have a stock or stocks that pay dividends. If the dividends are based solely on the number of shares you have, right? It's not based on the price. So if the price goes up or down, it doesn't really matter. The amount of money you get is based on the number of shares. So, for example, if your dividends are 60 cents per share, and you have 1,000 shares, you get 60 cents times 1,000 shares, you get $600. It doesn't matter what the price is. So I went into the a scanner in TD Ameritrade and searched for like companies that did dividends in the energy sector, both energy and electric. And it was kind of interesting. One stock came back with 14%. That's how much money you can get by having them. Um, well, how can they? Why do they pay such good? You look at their volume is like almost a million, but other companies over here are like 4 million. Um, anyways, so I wanted to try to evaluate and find a company. What's a good big safe company, um, and what do they pay? So I kind of sorted them not by how much interest they pay, but by how big they are. A bigger company I reasoned was more safer. So this is a 72 billionaire company. They pay 6%. These guys are oil and gas. I like electric companies, so the first electric company I found is called Southern, and they pay about 5%. My favorite company, one of my favorites of all times, was Excel Energy. It used to be NSP, and they're only paying about 3% now. So they used to be 4%. Um, so I wanted to see how they would do. So basically, I looked and saw at the last bear market, which was in 2008, when it dropped in April, and the price of this stock went down about 30%. Oh, I forgot to show you, by the way. Some stocks, when it goes bad, like here's that 2008 2009 bear that happened. Yeah, it kept on paying dividends. Some companies, when the prices go bad, they stop paying dividends. But if you look here, you'll see that the price is about 40 cents a share, and every year they increase a little bit. So 43, 45, 49, and they're about 60 cents a share right now. Okay. Um, so this is called Southern Company. So no matter what company you get, make sure that they pay dividends every quarter, and even during good times and bad times. Um, so, oh, I should have gone back and looked at that stock. Yeah, so if you look at the bear in 2009, it went down for like 4 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it went down for 1 year, and then it went up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 6. So it like 16. Anyways, it went up for another 4 years, say 3 years. So 1 year down, 3 years back up, and now you're back at where we were before. It's like really. Um, Actually, I counted to 16. Those are 16 months, so it's more closer to 1 month. Uh, I'm sorry. It went down for 4 months, and then went up for about 16 months. So it did pretty good. It weathered the bear market fairly well. Um, I assume that it. So this company I wanted to see, what if it would be more typical, like 4 quarters is a year, you had a bear, and then like 3 years it took to go back up. That's a more typical case. 4 years total, and I had the price of stock go down for 1 year, then slowly come back up till after 3 more years, it got up to back where it was $50. Um, and at the end of the 4 years, you ended up with $63,000. So you started out with 50,000, and you ended up with 63,000, and that corresponds to a 26% increase. But that's over 4 years, so it's sort of like 4% per year, something like that. Like I said, it went down for 4 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so this is like looking at the interest. It took another 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. It took 2 years for the price to the interest to come back up, so that you actually made some money. So here's the way that you look at it. That's your first gain after. So basically, 1 year down, and it's almost the price started going back up again, and almost 2 years after that, you're back to where you were. So, if there wasn't a bear market, I did that scenario where there was no bear, so the price just kept on going up about 5% a year. The reason I got 5% is that this company pays 5% dividends yearly, and which is a 5% yearly. If a quarter, that would be 1.2%, 5% every quarter. And so with that amount of interest, and after 16 months, so the same amount of time. So what I wanted to do is, over the same amount of time, 16 quarters, if there wasn't a bear market, you'd have about 61,000. If there was a bear, you'd end up with 63,000, a little bit more. And that is because when the price is going down, you're actually getting the same amount of money from dividends. So, but you're investing you're reinvesting the dividends, and when the price is down, you get to buy more shares when the price is down than if the price is up. And so we can look at the price. There's two scenarios. Each scenario starts out at 50,000. There's a bear market one, and the amount of money you're worth, if you will, is going down for a year. Then it starts going back up, and the orange line is if there wasn't a bear market, and so this would be what your worth is. And you can see that after the 4 years, you're about equal again. So I thought that was kind of interesting. This case here, we had the interest stay the same, but the price of the stock stayed the same as well. It stayed at 50. It didn't increase. So the first case was if you had a bear market, the price went down, it came back up. The second case is if it was congestion, I guess you call it, the price stayed the same, but your dividends are going. The third case I didn't show, in which you got dividends and the price kept on increasing. If that was the case, you'd end up with way more money than that. So that would be the best scenario. That's it. Good night.